Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Sunday and welcome back to my channel. So this is the first of two reviews that you guys are going to see today. Both reviews will be of Homeworx candles. I am still working my way through the spring candles that I want to get the reviews done for. And this past week, I finally hit the ground running with the hold on, let me pull up the names so I don't confuse it with the other one. This is the Homeworx set of 3 East Hampton garden set. I finished the Palm Beach garden set, what was it, last week or the week before? So this set I'm almost completely done with one of the candles, and then the other two I am at the halfway point. So I feel like at this point I can also give a little bit more feedback on which set I would actually recommend. And before I get into the review of this particular set, let me just address that really quickly because several of you have asked me about that. And I have to admit, after burning both, I think I actually prefer the pink set, the Palm Beach Garden, over this East Hampton. And the reason is, I think the florals in the Palm Beach Garden set, I'm trying to like not mess up the names of the sets. It is really hard for my ADD brain right now. I think those florals in that pinks, I'm going to call it the pink set. In the pink set, which I will also link down below, I'll put a link for this one as well. There's much more of that like sweet fruitiness in that particular set than there is with this one here. I think these are more like true florals, with the exception of the one in the middle, the Apricot and Beach Sage. And I think the names also kind of, you know, reference that as well. So I would say this, those of you that are trying to pick between the two, do you prefer more floral scents or do you prefer fruity florals? For me, I tend to be a little bit more of a fruity gourmand type lover, as you know. I prefer that strongly over just straight up florals. So that being said, I think for me personally, I would repurchase the Palm Beach Garden set, the pink set, over this East Hampton garden set, or the blue set. All right, that being said, I still have really been enjoying these. They are definitely unique. I did have an issue, and it was a pretty major issue that I don't know if it was entirely my fault. I mean, it was my fault, but I also think that the candle should have been able to correct itself, but it just didn't. So we'll get to that here when we get to the performance part. But first, let's talk about the price, what you're getting, the fragrance notes, that kind of stuff, and then we'll talk about strength and throw, and then we'll address the issue that I had. Okay, so first off, this is currently still available. This was released kind of early on in the spring. It's still around. The reviews, little hit and miss, so definitely check those reviews out. Currently, this is selling for $52.80 for the set of 3, and it is that ridiculous $7.50 shipping. I hate the QVC shipping. That being said, I've heard that Sunday, today, when you're watching this, is supposed to be a free ship day. I don't know if it is or not, because I'm actually recording this all the way back in time on Wednesday. So, I don't know. You may get free shipping today. If there's free shipping, get what you want to get, because yeah, if you can save that $7.50, you definitely should. Okay, so you're getting 3 18-ounce candles. So one of each. This is not like you're getting, you know, 3 of the same. It's one of each in the set of 3. You have the Apricot and Beach Sage, which the notes are apricot nectar, beach sage, coconut palm, and orange flower. You have the Water Lily and Neroli, which is Water Lily, Neroli, Lotus Blossom, and Yuzu. Yuzu, by the way, is it's a citrus fruit. I believe it's native to Asia. I really like it. It's a very delicious citrus. It's kind of I don't know, I feel like it's a cross between like a lemon and an orange type flavor. There's this little yuzu like gelatinous like cocktail drink that I get when we go to get sushi. I wish I could remember the name of it because it's absolutely delicious. And they have a lychee flavor and they also have a yuzu flavor, and the yuzu is delicious. It's so good. If I can think of the name, I'll put it in the description box, but I've never been able to find it at like our regular grocery stores, but I'm sure if I went to one of the Asian markets, they would probably have it there. So I need to make a trip. Anyway, that's yuzu. Side note, blue violet and azalea. So the notes here are blue violet, mimosa flower, pink grapefruit, and apple blossom. So you see that trend of putting a fruit, either the apricot, the pink grapefruit, or the yuzu in with each of these florals. Harry's kind of famous for doing that. Some people hate it. I actually quite like it because it makes the florals more enjoyable for me personally, but I am not the biggest floral lover. Like, I like florals. I'm starting to enjoy them more and more. However, they are not my like go-to favorites. Again, these all are 18-ounce candles, so just that traditional Homeworx size. They're 4 wicks. The burn time says 30 to 55 hours. I usually fall somewhere in the middle there. I never land in the low end, definitely getting more than 30 hours, but I'm also definitely not getting 55 hours. I feel like that's a real stretch. I would say the more appropriate range would be like 30 to 40 hours. I think I land somewhere around like 40 hours with most of these. The packaging here is really nice. These lids I think are beautifully done. They are embossed, you know, and they're that typical like metal. All 3 of the lids are the same. The labels are obviously different. These 2 mirror each other. There's just a color difference. And then just like the Palm Beach garden set, there's also a like floral design in the blue violet and azalea. So packaging wise, I think these are beautiful for the spring. Maybe you want to match them to your home decor. I don't know. For me, the pink, given my pillows in the background, aesthetically were a little better fit, but I also like blue. You see my blue walls. So I could go either way on the color. So, all right, let's talk about each of the scents individually. I'm gonna pull this one up first. This is the Water Lily and Neroli. I am just gonna show you guys where I'm at with this one. So this one, I have trimmed the wicks, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I think I trimmed too much. This is possibly gonna struggle. So I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt here. And you can see the last time that I burned it, it didn't go all the way to the edge. But it seems to have kind of done that from the beginning, but it's going down along with the rest of the wax, so it doesn't really bug me. There's a totally different story with that one though, so keep that in mind. All right, Water Lily and Neroli. I'm just gonna give my nose a little refresh here. Oh, this one's really nice. First off, Neroli is it's Orange Blossom, and that is the first thing that I smell in here. I also get that water lily note. It's a very similar water lily note to the Coastal Water Lily that you can find at Ulta. Oh yeah, if you haven't tried that one, now that is a floral to burn all summer long. I still need to grab some backups of that one. In here, you also have the Lotus Blossom, which I don't know. I feel like I've never really smelled a Lotus Blossom, so I can't tell you if I'm picking that up in here. But I do get that yuzu, like citrusy type note in here for sure. It's a softer citrus note. It's not like a slap you in the face, like straight up lemon or orange or grapefruit or anything like that. It's a little bit softer. This is a really nice blend, you guys. The strength and throw on this particular one, and this is kind of across the board with all 3 of these, is about a 5.5. So not the strongest. I feel like the strength and throw could have been amped up with these a little bit. And that's kind of saying a lot for me, because for me, florals, I don't want them to be crazy strong, but these, I wish they would have been a little bit stronger. Definitely not the strongest performing Homeworx candles I've ever had. Not terrible. I can definitely smell them, but they don't travel super far. I think they do better when they are in close proximity to each other. They actually complement each other quite well. I think he did a really good job with pairing the scents together. That being said, I could use a little bit more oomph in these. So if you are looking for the strongest Homeworx candles, I'm not sure these are it. However, I get a lot of people who are like, I don't want my fragrance to slap me in the face. Could you recommend softer candles? Here you go. This would be what I would gear you towards, because from my experience, now keep in mind, I live in a pretty like open concept style house. So here's my entryway. Like basically once you get into that part of the house, it's like, it's all open. So scents do have to have some strength to them. Otherwise they sort of struggle. So, and we also have high ceilings in here. So that's another thing to consider. This may do much better or maybe much stronger in an apartment type situation, or like a smaller, more traditional home where you have like the separated rooms. All right. Really like that one. I think it's beautiful. Next, let's do the Blue Violet and Azalea. And this, by the way, is my least favorite out of the three. Okay, so this one I did not trim the wicks yet because I wanted to show you what they look like after you burn. You can see this one, also just a tiny bit of residue here that normally doesn't happen. I'm not sure why that's happening with this particular set. I don't think that happened with the other one. So, but you can see the wicks there. They get a little tall and they want to lean a little bit. So do not burn these candles for more than like 3.5 hours. I think that is sort of their peak performance burn time, if you will. Don't burn them a whole lot longer. So Blue Violet and Azalea. It's nice. It is nice, but I just don't love this one. I think I like it. So you have the Blue Violet, the Mimosa Flower, the Pink Grapefruit, and the Apple Blossom. I can absolutely smell that Apple Blossom. It's the same type of Apple Blossom that I feel like Harry has used in the past. I have never smelled a Mimosa Flower. I am a florist, so usually a lot of florals I have smelled at one time or another, either with arrangements I've made, or I smell a lot of things at the flower market. So I can stick my nose into basically any flower that is available at the market at the time. I've never come across a Mimosa Flower. I have come across violets, and I don't love the smell of violets. So there you go. I can smell the violet in here. I also get the grapefruit. I think the grapefruit is nicely done. It's definitely in the background. This one is very feminine and probably the lightest out of the three, but I still would put the strength and throw right around like a 5 for both. So, yeah, but it just, for some reason, I feel like the oils in here are maybe softer, or maybe these types of floral notes are just from like the softer end of the spectrum when it comes to florals. I think it's pretty, it's just not my kind of floral scent. So with that being said, that is definitely one reason for me to not repurchase this one and to stick with the Palm Beach Garden set, because that one loved all three. All right, you guys, we got to talk about the Apricot and Beach Sage here. I'm going to move her into the forefront. By the way, this little cake stand thing, I just got this at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure they still have them. Okay, so I lit this for the first time when I was needing to go run an errand. And I don't recommend doing this unless you can dedicate at least an hour to get like a full like melting in, like, and I'm talking like melting the entire candle across like the whole surface. If you can't do that, don't start these candles, because boy, once it started tunneling for me with the next burn, it never really corrected itself. So I did a little experiment, and I don't recommend doing this because it's not very safe. But yesterday I just decided to let this go all day long. I let it go overnight. Now I did put it in my kitchen sink overnight, so that, you know, if it accidentally got knocked over, at least it was just like in the sink and it couldn't light anything on fire. But it was tunneling so badly that I was like, I wonder if I just keep burning this, if it will ever correct itself. It did sort of, yeah, it did somewhat, I guess I should say, but it's not a pretty sight. So I'm going to show you guys the aerial view here so that you can see what this looks like when you burn it for hours and hours and hours. Don't do this. All right. Woo! Look at that. So some of the wax actually finally started melting. But do you see all of the wick clippings in the bottom? It has completely discolored the wax. But this right here is kind of an accurate representation of how badly it tunneled. Like it, when I originally burned it, it only had like little tiny wax pools around each wick. And when I came home, I relit it and it never self-corrected. And then it resulted in like this huge chunk of wax on the outer portion here that never really did anything until I put it in the sink overnight, and then it eventually melted. But that's not how you want to treat your candles. So let this be a lesson to you. That being said, the apricot and beach sage, let me read you guys the scent notes again, and then I'll kind of tell you what I smell. Of course, this was my favorite out of the three, of course. And it was the one that I destroyed. So apricot nectar, beach sage, coconut palm, and orange flower. I really don't get apricot per se. I do just get kind of a generic fruitiness from this one. And I love apricot. Apricot is one of my favorite like stone fruits. And I wish it was apricot that was in here. But it's just a generic fruitiness, like a sweetness. This is a much more like beachy type of scent. I also get that like ocean air vibe from this, but in terms of like the beach sage, I don't know. Beach sage would be, I can't really compare it to regular sage, which I have out in my garden because I'm sure the two are different, but yeah, it's just, I definitely can smell kind of like that tropical type vibe in this. And I do smell the orange flower, which, wouldn't that be neroli? I don't know. I feel like I can kind of smell the similarity to this one over here. And I'm guessing that might be the neroli. I don't know. There's just something about this one that really appeals to me, although it's really hard to explain. I feel like this is one that you almost have to smell in person, but it's incredibly difficult to pick out the individual notes and to explain what it smells like. It just smells good to me. I'm starting to really appreciate that like ocean air, salty air type vibe that is in a lot of different scents these days. I just reviewed a hair mask from Color Wow that has that same like beachy vibe to it, and I love it. Oh, it's so pretty, you guys. And it makes my hair smell like $1,000,000. It makes my hair smell like I was at the beach. Anyway, you guys, with destroying this one, I don't know that I ever really got the full experience with it. So I don't know that I would even give you a strength or a throw on it because I had it in my kitchen. I definitely smelled it when I was near it, but it never got the full wax pool. And I think that had an effect on the strength and the throw. I really do. Now, when I walked into the kitchen this morning, I definitely smelled it. Like it was there and it definitely permeated the air. But it wasn't as strong as the other two. And again, I think it's, you know, I messed up the burn here. So, but I have heard from other people that they have experienced a little bit of tunneling as well with this particular one. So maybe even if I would have burned it correctly, it would have still tunneled to some degree, because you did notice here that there is just that little bit on the side. So maybe these do have something about them in the wax formula that makes them a little bit more iffy in the burn. I don't know. Please let me know your experience. This isn't one that I would be hardcore, like, go and get it, you have to have it. I would actually send you to the others, the pink set, over this one, because I know that one burned really well for me and I had no issues with it. The strength and the throw were pretty good, but you know, this, I would not repurchase this one. Let's just say that. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I think this one was a little bit longer, but there were 3 candles here. So let me know if you got it, what your thoughts are. I'll put a link for it in the description box down below. Check it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.